Hey guys, how's it going, and welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be focused on going over a selection of maths related games that you can do with your children to engage them in maths whilst you are homeschooling them. And for those of you who have your children with you, kids, this is a great opportunity for you to teach mum and dad, brothers and sisters how good you are at maths, and teach them how you do it at school. Alright guys, let's get into the video. So the first game that I want you guys to try and play is bingo. Now, the fantastic thing about bingo is that you can modify it depending on what you are focusing your maths on for that day. So I have already set up and got some sheets prepared. Now, in my class, we are doing time at the moment, or we have been before all the schools closed, and so we are going to focus on some time bingo. But I've also done this with times tables, so you can put a variety of times tables on these sheets. You can do it with addition, subtraction, fractions, decimals. You can really modify it to suit your needs. So times bingo is brilliant. Now, in order to play it, you can do this by printing them off. I'm sure, in fact I know, there are lots of websites that have templates already, so if you want to save yourself some time, you can print them off, or it might be a really nice activity to do with your children before you get into the game, and that is to create them. So I've created them myself. On a piece of A4 sheet, I have created a grid with 6 squares. Each square has a clock face that I have put a specific time on. Now if you're doing time, like I have done, be very aware of where the big hand is facing and where the small hand is facing. Now if we look at this clock in the middle at the top here, alright, the big hand is clearly facing the 12 and the small hand is clearly facing the 4 o'clock. Now if you're going to do half past or quarter past, quarter to, anything that essentially is not at the 12 where it's o'clock, be aware that the little hand is not going to be facing the number directly. Okay, this is something that's really important to teach children. Alright, so for instance, half past 11, I know that this is a not particularly well drawn clock, okay, but the big hand is facing the 6 and the small hand is facing between the 10 and 11, making it half past 10. So once you've got your mats, your bingo mats, obviously you're going to need to have one mat per person playing. You then need your bingo cards. Now I've not created these yet, I need to create them now. Obviously, if you want to make sure that these little pieces of paper have the same times that are on your sheet. If they don't, well, no one's going to get bingo, are they? Alright, so make sure that you copy these times out. If your children are quite good at maths, or depending on what age they are, you can mix these cards up. So for time, I could put draw a clock face on it, and you have to like snap the clock face. I could put it in the 12-hour, 24-hour, I could even do Roman numerals, so you can do different representations depending on how your children might access this game. Okay guys, so all that is left to do now is to play it. I have my 2 mats, I have my cards. Obviously you want to make sure that these are well shuffled, and you want to make sure that when you're putting them out, they are face down. Now when you're using these and you're playing your game of bingo, you can do it in a couple of ways. Manage it depending on the number of people and who is playing your game. The way I do it in school is I get the children in small groups, and I basically after each turn the next person gets to pull one out. Okay, you could do it where one person pulls them out and sort of sits out of the game, is like the dealer, or you can allocate one person per game. It's totally up to you how you manage it. And then you play, and obviously your intention is to match up these cards to the times that you have on your sheets. First person to get all of them is bingo! 4 o'clock. Yes, that's me. You gotta be kidding. Oh, damn it. Oh, how did you win again? Alright guys, so another game that you can play, which is also really good fun, and it helps if you are competitive, I mean you can play it even if you're not, but is Snap. So you can also use the cards that you were playing with your bingo earlier, and again you can modify this to suit whichever maths you are using, and I'm sure that you can do this with other subjects as well, not just maths, but it works really well for maths, is Snap. So I have obviously still using time. I've written in letters, so 10 to 2. I've written it in the 12-hour clock, 1:50 p.m. Then there's the 24-hour clock, 22:30. You can do, you can draw clock faces on here. Obviously, you can modify it, as I said earlier, to suit whatever you're doing in maths. You can modify it, and then you can play big games with Snap, and you can, see if you can win. So that is another game, really good fun. Snap! Again? You're too good at this. So another really good game that you can play is Scrabble. Now you can obviously just use standard Scrabble if you've got it, that's also really good. Or you can create your own and modify it, and I love the ability to modify a game. So I have done just that, I've created my own. Now obviously I have stuck to the Scrabble rules, so I have created a list A to Z and then I have numbered them. Now depending on your child you can obviously modify this heavily. I've just written numbers from 1 to 10 out. You can go 1 to 100, you could use negative numbers, you could use fractions, decimals. You can really modify this to challenge your children depending on their ability and their age. And then, obviously for your, to write things down on, you can obviously cut out some small pieces of paper, or preferable if you've got them, use some whiteboards. Yeah, if you've got a couple of whiteboards at home, you can use whiteboards, it saves you on wasting paper. I obviously don't have whiteboards, so paper it is. You can make this a bit competitive. If you've got more than one child at home, you can get them to compete against each other, or, and which I would prefer, why don't you sit down and play with them? Okay, you can use their spelling lists from the week on the term, or you can use just words that they know, and the objective is obviously to get the greatest number, or depending on what numbers you are using, the smallest number, you can really modify it to suit the game that you're playing. But yeah, Scrabble, really good fun, and I've seen that the children absolutely love it in class, so give it a go. 6 add 1, add 9, plus the 5, 37. No way you've beaten me. Really? Man, I give up with you. Champion? That's 1 point more! Oh. Okay guys, so there you have it. There are 3 games that you are completely modifiable that you can play during this homeschool period to really engage both yourself and your children in their maths work. Maths really doesn't have to be boring, it can be fun, it can be a bit competitive, and you can really have some good fun with it. I am going to try my best to put out more content to sort of help you in this situation. It's a bit of a bizarre place for all of us to be in, and to give you guys a bit of an idea, some hints and tips as to things that you can do at home with your children to engage them in maths, literacy, any of the subjects that they normally would have been doing in school. So from me and my little buddy here, we will see you hopefully tomorrow, but we will see you in the next one. Definitely not playing games with you anymore, I swear you cheated.